What's up guys? Today's video is going to be a little bit different than my normal content here on this channel. This video is in collaboration with my beauty channel. I will leave a link to it in the description below. Welcome to Forensic Friday, where I tell you one true crime case that was solved using forensic science, all while doing, that's right, my makeup. This is going to be extremely difficult. As you guys know, I am no professional makeup artist whatsoever. I'm just the average girl at home using these beauty products, so it's going to be quite a challenge for me. This video was inspired by a YouTuber named Bailey Sarian. She does murder mysteries and makeup Mondays. Mainly she covers cases surrounding cannibalism, at least those are the ones that I saw and kind of got addicted to. She is an amazing, I mean amazing makeup artist, super funny, so I highly recommend you guys checking her channel out. I will leave a link in the description below. Today's video is going to be featuring the Moon Spell palette. This is probably one of my favorite palettes of this year. All the products that I'm using on my face in this video will be linked in the description below. So this story takes place in a small rural town in Canada called Kipling. And now this town is so small that literally the animals outnumber the people that actually live there. So it's a super small town, which means everyone knows each other and everyone knows what is going on in the town. Outside of a few like break-ins, I think burglaries and some sexual assaults, I believe they said, the deputy said it was maybe 6 assaults a year. I mean, that's still too much, but there really wasn't much going on in this town. There wasn't too much like crime or anything. The fact that it is such a small town and people know each other and everybody knows everything, word would kind of get around if you did commit a crime as to what happened and who it was. So it was a pretty quiet farming community. So on Halloween night in 1992, a woman by the name of Candy, she was a really attractive, smart, intelligent, cute woman, and she was at a local gas station pumping gas when she got into an argument with her boyfriend. Sorry guys, quick correction, Candy actually worked at that gas station and her boyfriend was visiting her while she was at work, and then they got into an argument. The argument ended with her actually leaving the gas station and leaving him there. She was pretty upset. She kind of stormed off. He was really heated as well. So it was a whole kind of scene. Candy, in her heat of rage, goes to a nearby hospital where one of her girlfriends worked, because she was really upset. Obviously, she probably wanted to talk. Unfortunately, her girlfriend was actually off duty that night, so Candy was unable to get in contact with her. But while she was there, since she was in such a panic, one of the other nurses that was on duty actually suggested that she see the doctor. Perhaps the doctor could give her something that would calm her down. So Candy decided that it wouldn't hurt and she would go ahead and wait for the doctor. The nurse escorts her to one of the rooms in the back of the hospital, and in comes Dr. Schneinberger. I think that's how you say his name. I'm sorry if I say the names wrong in here, like give me a break, okay? So when Dr. Schneinberger came into the room, Candy told him that she was so upset with her boyfriend that she could kill him. But she says she didn't actually mean she was going to really kill him or she really wanted to kill him. But that's just how upset she was, you know. She didn't really expect that he would give her anything too heavy. She kind of thought that he was just going to give her some pills and that was it. But actually, the doctor suggested that she take a sedative. This is where things get a little weird and the story becomes kind of like, who's telling the truth here? Instead of giving her pills, Dr. Schneeberger actually gave her a shot. And she said almost immediately she felt really, really numb. And according to her, she lost control of her body, like complete control of her muscles and her body. And she kind of fell to the floor and was just laying there. The only thing she said she could remember was this feeling of like when you're at the dentist, that feeling when they like numb you up and then they're pulling your teeth. You don't really feel any pain, but you do feel the pressure on your gums and on your mouth of them pulling. That is what she claimed she felt while she was sedated on the floor. Candy tries to scream, as she is falling over to the floor, but she said she couldn't even scream. Like, nothing came out but this weird noise from her mouth that she could only describe as like a croaking noise from a frog. She's unsure of what else happened, but she just remembered the doctor being over her. And Candy believes that she was raped. Once Candy regained consciousness, she had the idea or the mind to actually take off her underwear and put it in a plastic bag and save it for later. I guess she was thinking that she was probably gonna go and have a rape kit done, because she really did think that something happened to her. That night, Candy was too dizzy and tired from the sedation to actually go anywhere, to drive anywhere, go home. So the nurses actually suggested that she spend the night there because she seemed kind of out of it. Candy did not say anything about the rape or alleged rape at all. She just kind of kept it to herself. This is a huge problem, and a thing that a lot of women do is when something like this happens, they won't tell or they won't speak up because a lot of times they're not believed. The next day, Candy comes back to the doctor's office. She actually confronts Dr. Schneinberger. She says to him, "What the hell was that drug you gave me?" He says, "Why? Did it give you wild, wet dreams or something?" as he chuckles. Who the fuck does that? Like, right then and there, she knew that she had an issue on her hands because he had already started to deny the allegations. He had already started making up things, like showing her that it's just gonna be a wild dream. It's not like, you know, anybody's gonna believe you, you know, kind of thing to her. So that was disgusting. So after that, Candy contacts her parents and tells them of her suspicions about Dr. Schneinberger and what exactly happened that night. At first, her parents are like, they didn't know what to believe, but they were hoping it wasn't true. But as soon as they heard Candy's story, they thought, oh my God, this is actually true. This guy actually tried this on her. They said they could tell that she was telling the truth just by the look on her face. Candy drove about 2 hours away to a town called Regina, which sounds really weird, for a rape kit testing. There, they found evidence of semen on her underwear and clothing. They also found semen on her vaginal swab test as well. Blood testing also revealed a very peculiar drug in Candy's system, a drug called Versed. Versed is used as a pre-anesthetic agent to help induce anesthesia when you're going into like surgery or something like that. So this was a pretty powerful drug that he gave to her. You're not able to feel your muscles or use your muscles at all while on this drug. And then you become very tired and then you fall asleep, which is exactly what Candy described happened to her that night. So of course, as usual, when Candy accused Dr. Schneinberger of rape, a lot of people in the community thought that she was lying. I don't know why this happens to women. I mean, I do know because there are women that have fucked it up for real victims and lied about it, but no one believed her in the community that Dr. Schneinberger would actually do something like this. This is a respectable doctor we're talking about in the community. He actually delivered Candy's baby. Like, why would he do something like this? So she had a really tough case to prove. Also, a mistake that Candy made and everyone thought was suspicious was not saying anything about the rape on the night that it happened. She had stayed in the hospital. She had saw nurses after that. Why didn't she speak up when it happened? A lot of people believe that Candy actually had some kind of romantic interest in Dr. Schneinberger. Maybe they were having an affair and she was upset. They actually thought that she was trying to get some sort of like settlement money or something like that, and that is the reason why she made up this fictitious story that the doctor had raped her. Okay, now I'm gonna go into the Lunar Beauty palette. I think I'm gonna use these 3 shades right here, Kiki, Winifred. This shade I definitely want to use right here. It is such a beautiful shade. I've used it before, just it on its own on my eyelids, and it looks so stunning. So I'm gonna go into Winifred first and put that all over my eyelids. Back to the story. Just to end the controversy and everyone talking, Dr. Schneinberger actually agreed to do a DNA test. The DNA test did not match the biological semen that was found, in Candy's rape kit, so they had to let Dr. John Scheenberger go. Candy was really upset. She was thinking like, how could this happen? That's pretty much impossible. Candy was telling everyone that it was impossible, that he definitely did something. He was the only one with her that night, and she's sure he raped her. She also hadn't had any type of intercourse for, it had been weeks since her last intercourse, and to her, that was proof that it had to be him, because she had no other contact with any other male sexually after that. So after this whole thing happened and it was proved that it was not his DNA, a lot of people in Kipling tried to put this whole entire thing behind them, except Candy. She was still going after him. She was still going for it. She was still trying to prove her case. Candy believed that someone had tampered with the DNA test, so Dr. Scheenberger agrees to another DNA test in 1993. This DNA test happened in a doctor's office with a registered nurse, and it was monitored by the police. So the vials were taken directly to forensic laboratories at the police headquarters, so there was no way that anyone could say that it was contaminated or somehow someone tampered with the evidence whatsoever. Once again, the DNA test comes back and it is not Dr. Scheenberger's DNA. Police watched the needle actually penetrate the doctor's, I did the wrong thing. Oh my God, this is so hard. I have no idea how Bailey does this, seriously. In his defense, Dr. Scheenberger says that Versa said this drug could actually cause erotic hallucination. However, even if it did cause erotic dreams and hallucinations, it can't produce semen. So you can imagine how devastated Candy was hearing this, but with no further proof, the police had no other choice but to close the case in 1994. However, Candy did not give up. She hired a private investigator to break into Dr. Scheenberger's car and to take anything he could find that might have his DNA on it. She believed that the evidence somehow was being tampered with and that was not the actual DNA of Dr. Scheenberger that he was giving, but she just couldn't prove it. So the private investigator found strands of hair, but there was no roots attached, so they cannot use it for DNA testing. Then they also found a lip balm in the doctor's car, which they actually took to a private DNA testing lab and had it tested. Finally, they got something, and the DNA that was found on the chapstick matched the DNA on Candy's rape kit. There was only two problems with this new evidence. One was that the evidence could not be used in court because the investigator had illegally broken into the doctor's car and stolen the lip balm. So that evidence was immiscible in court. And two was that there was no proof that the DNA was actually Dr. Scheenberger's. I have no idea what I'm doing. This is extremely hard. Like, I 110% commend Bailey, because I cannot. But the real question is, if the DNA on the lip balm actually did match Dr. Scheenberger's, then why didn't the DNA taken from his arm when they did the blood draw match? It just really made no sense. Like, how could that be possible? To find out, Candy had to file a civil suit against Dr. Scheenberger and brought charges against him with the local medical society. At the hearing, Candy actually had to sit directly across from Dr. Scheenberger's wife, who she said was giving her death stares the entire time. Like, she was staring her down. If looks could kill, Candy would be dead already. Candy says that she just sat there thinking, like, you know what, you're so stupid. She says she thought to herself, you know what, if you don't watch out, that this might happen to your kids. Ironically enough, Candy didn't know, but we find out later that it did actually happen to Lisa's kid, who would be Dr. Scheenberger's stepdaughter. This once again prompted Dr. Scheenberger to take another DNA test just to prove his innocence again. This time, the DNA test was actually filmed by the police. In the video, the doctor appears very, very friendly and helpful, but when the technician asked him to take blood from his finger, that is when the doctor gets a little bit anxious and agitated and tells the technician that he can't take blood from his finger because he has some sort of rare genetic thing with his hands that it would cause some sort of reaction if they took the blood from his finger. So instead, if they could only draw the blood from his left arm. So since this is a voluntary test, the doctor cannot be forced to do anything against his will. So the police does not force him to take the test on his finger. They actually give him the shot where he asks. So this technician sticks the needle into Dr. Scheenberger's left arm. And here's where things get super duper bizarre. Nothing comes out. No blood comes out of Dr. Scheenberger's arm at first. Of course, she thought that was unusual. Sometimes the vacuum gets clogged or stuck and it's unable to take a sample from the patient's arm, but eventually she does get a sample and she's able to pull from Dr. Scheenberger's arm. After the technician takes the blood from his arm, she becomes really concerned, and she's just kind of baffled because the sample of blood that she took was too degraded for them to even send off to the DNA lab for testing. Of course, Candy was like mad as because she was just like, oh my God, you guys screwed up again. This is our last chance to get blood and to get any evidence from this guy, and you completely screw it up. Like, something is going on here. Even the police was a little bit suspicious after this happened because it just really made no sense. April 26, 1997, 5 years after Candy's alleged rapes, police got new information regarding the case. Shockingly, the doctor's stepdaughter accused him of rape and said he had been raping her for the past several years. The young girl said that the doctor had been coming into her room every night for several years and giving her injections, which made her really tired and sleepy, and he also raped her. His wife discovered a box full of condoms, needles, and drugs, including the drug Versad, which, as we know, was found in Candy's system. It was found in the doctor's home office. So Dr. Scheenberger was arrested and ordered to undergo another DNA test. Like, how many DNA tests can this man pass without getting caught? I am so... Ooh, I kind of like that. That's kind of cute, actually. I do like it. Again, the DNA testing was videotaped down at the police station, but this time the police officers actually had a warrant to take the blood sample from his finger and not from any other place in his body, not his left arm. It had to be from his finger. So there was no way that Dr. Scheenberger could get away this time. This time the doctor was very silent, probably scared shitless, I'm guessing. The cops took several different samples. All of the samples matched the DNA found on Candy's rape kit sample swab. He was busted. But a bigger question had yet to be solved. How did Dr. Scheenberger fool the last 3 DNA tests? It was a huge puzzle for the police of how those samples actually ended up differently. They could not, for the life of them, figure it out. In November of 1999, Dr. Scheenberger went on trial for the rape of Candy and his stepdaughter. This is where things get mind-blowingly bizarre. On the stand, Dr. Scheenberger says that he surgically inserted a plastic tube into his arm filled with blood from one of his patients. Oh my God, that is just one of the most sickest things I've ever heard in my life. Like, desperate and sick. I'm just like, what in the heck? What in the heck? That desperate to cover your tracks, that desperate to get away with a crime like this. I cannot fathom just like the mind and thought process behind this. And this is also why he insisted that the blood be drawn from his left arm instead of his fingers. If you look closely at the videotape of the doctor being tested, you can see that he is very careful to lift his sleeve only so high that the technician can only take blood from a certain area and not higher than that. This obviously was where he had inserted the plastic tube. For a brief moment in the video, you can actually see the tube sticking out of his arm. It's pretty disgusting and gross. By the time the third test was done, the blood in the tube had dried up because it had been 5 years later, and that is the reason why they could not get a good sample from him. He claimed that Candy actually broke into his home, stole a used condom, and used the contents in it to frame him. He said that he used his patient's blood because he had no other way to defend himself. Mr. Scheenberger was found guilty in both cases of raping and sexually assaulting Candy and also his stepdaughter. He was sentenced to 6 years in prison, which I don't think is enough, but he was also denied parole, which was super great for Candy. Oh my God, this is such a mind-blowing case. What do you guys think? Please let me know in the comments down below. This is pretty much my almost finished look. I wanted to do something a little bit Christmassy, so I was thinking about a red lip, but I decided to go with green instead because I wanted something, even though it's kind of festive and holiday, to be also dark and a little bit sadistic. So I'm going to go in with Dr. M by ColourPop, and I thought this was a very fitting shade for this video and this story. So that is the one that I've chosen to use on my lips today. Okay guys, that is it. This is the finished look. What do you guys think? I don't really know. I'm not a makeup artist, but I think it actually came out pretty cool. Let me know your thoughts and opinions about this case and my look in the comments down below. And as always, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of my future episodes. And I will see you guys next Friday with another Forensic Friday episode. Bye.